one thing a lot of people didn't know, we were in the Inquirer in 1984 in a contest that Linda.
Thanks, Linda.
Yeah. Then 4 years later, I was at Elmore City, and this book was on the stand, Woman's World. It just kind of drew my attention. I opened it up. That's what I found. Another contest with us in it that nobody entered us in.
Did we win?
Yeah, the one that's in the Inquirer is in here too.
They probably got it from the Inquirer. Probably what they did.
But still,
Information.
I need a royalty check for that.
Okay.
no, also, they wanted us to be in, pursue it, Daddy was.
I know, Dad said no.
Dee,
Yes.
speak a little louder. We all can hear you. Can't hear you back here.
She won't be able to hear. I know, she can't.
Three chairs right here.
I know.
I'll stay right here. Go back here.
Now he can't get up there.
What's all this?
David got up there.
Right up. When you forgot to put where I
You
could.
got a superpower.
I never lived in Park. No, I did not. The only house I ever lived in is the one she lives in now. The booth. Mama was pregnant. Daddy started
We're
doing it.
getting Brad's place of birth here that we don't know.
I was born in the house that Linda lives in now. No, that's where they was at.
Okay, I'm going to just read some stuff to you, and if you find something wrong, just let me know, because you know, this is 73 years of trying to remember. Okay, first, this Taylor family began on September 4th, 1905, when Cleo was born to Blanche and Bob Zwingle in Warren County at McMinnville, Tennessee. She was born the third of 8 children, 4 boys and 4 girls. She married William Taylor, and I did not have his, I tried to call you, David, to get that. For Grandpa Taylor, you know, Dad's dad, our dads were. I don't have that.
What do you know?
Where was he born? Smithfield, okay. I have one place that has that down.
1895.
Okay, and on one of my papers, it said they moved to Nennecaw, Oklahoma in 1921. That can't be right.
No,
Because Daddy was born in 22 and he was born in Tennessee. See, that's a discrepancy, so, but it don't really matter.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what.
Yeah.
I might have it in the stuff out.
Well, that's why I was calling you to see. This time they had Loyd and Nellie, possibly Fern, 3 children when they came. I don't know for sure.
Wilma?
Huh?
Wilma was the oldest.
Wilma, Daddy, and somebody said Fern. They had Fern then too.
24.
Okay. But somebody just told me that and I didn't know
Yeah, I
that.
have it.
Here, they had Fern, and when they moved to Nennecaw, they had Fern, J.B., Buford, David's dad, Ruth, Betty, Harold, Gerald, Boyce, Ronnie, Wesley, and Danny. And I did not even know they lived at Nennecaw. I thought they lived at Lindsay all their life. But they did not. I didn't know that. Well, but then Dad took some of us to Nennecaw to look at the old place. That's the first time I knew they lived at Nennecaw. And there was an old cellar. Cleo, what did you want out of that old cellar? That bedstead. At Nennecaw, Daddy took those girls over there one day.
Oh gosh, I'm sure I don't remember.
Well, anyway,
I have selective memory.
it was one of those little beds, iron beds, had little knots on them, and you said, I wanna go down in there
Where
and do
is
that. I said, I'm not going with you.
I
That big-
remember.
Look at, did you go?
Yeah, but I don't remember her being one.
Are you the one that said you wanted
No.
it? Okay. And I said, I'm not gonna help you. Look at the size of that snake skin on that bed.
Well, that's 1922, 2011. Vern, 1924, 2001. JB. Well, look right there, she's born in 1921, died in 1969.
Yeah, okay. It was back to the cellar and the bed frame. I told her I was not going to help her because that snake was just too big and there may be some more in there, that snake skin. Another family playing a part of this story was Ira and Bessie Simmons. They had 4 children, W.C., Nellie, Edna, and Nadine. They lived somewhere around Bradley. That's what I was talking to Marion a while ago. I don't know where they lived in. Do you,
I
David?
don't know exactly where the house was.
She said it was over by the Sea Chapel School, back towards University, back that way.
They,
Go ahead.
Bessie died having twins.
See, I didn't know that. I knew she died, but I didn't know having twins.
Bessie
Yeah.
died having twins.
Well, I knew that Mom had, was it a boy and a girl?
Yes.
Yes, Mom always said she had a twin brother and sister. Okay,
They both twins died.
yeah,
when
I
she
knew
died.
they did. Okay. Now, and then Ira's mom, Granny, what's her name, David?
Kenny,
Tanny. I stayed awake last night trying to think of what her name was. Because, you know, we went over there.
Kenny Anderson.
Jenny Anderson, yeah. That's Nellie's grandmother and our great-grandmother lived at Ellick. And I remember we'd go on Sundays after church and her hair, when she sat in her chair, rubbed the floor. And we always combed her hair. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember her, but no, she gives no.
We
And we
always-
always try our glasses on.
And we always-
Make holes in them.
We always wanted a snuff can.
Oh,
Play
we wanted
with.
her snuff cans
To play with.
to play with, okay.
Bessie's kids lived with her most of the time after
Okay.
she passed away.
That's what I was asking earlier because I didn't know, and that's what somebody said. That this is just basically the same thing. Loyd was in the Navy, the Seabees. After he came home from World War II, he met Nellie Simmons. Not sure where she lived at this time, but like I was talking to David, so we're close to the Sea Chapel School. They got married May the 26th, 1947 in Chickasha, Oklahoma. In 1948, they moved to Freona, Texas. And I guess the farm. They had 3 children while in Freona. That was Cleta, Linda, and myself.
So y'all's Texans?
We're Texans.
That's what's wrong with it. I wanted to have more kids.
And then we moved back to Lindsay in 1950. We lived in a little small wood house. Do you remember it?
I just know. I was told we did. I don't
Okay,
remember the
I
house.
do remember one thing about that house. It came a blizzard. And we all slept in the living room, Mom, Dad, and us 3 kids. Well, when we woke up the next morning, the snow had shifted all the way into the house, had big piles at wherever, board was, the cracks. And that's the only thing I remember about that house. And at this time, I'm not sure what Dad did when he came back from, I know he worked at the plant.
Construction.
Construction? Okay.
With Buford, I think.
Oh, okay.
That was Johnny
Shannon.
Shannon, yeah.
So,
C.P. Carter Construction Company.
so that's where he was when he came back from Texas.
That's where Daddy worked.
That's where he worked too, okay.
But see, Mom and Daddy moved to Texas too.
Yeah.
All of us up to me were born in Texas.
The West Texas.
I'll go
South. down by Dallas.
I lived in Dallas. I was born in Midlothian. Well, we lived in Midlothian. I was born in Dallas, Austin, Pentecost.
I remember y'all lived
Thrashing?
in Texas.
Was it, broomhorn thrashing? Okay. Did you know that? The daddy and your dad ran a broomhorn thrashing machine?
I didn't know that.
See, David didn't.
I did. I remember. Gene, you did it too?
Well, I did a lot of it, but I
We did
don't
the-
remember
we
who all.
helped with the
I think we did it, but I didn't know we did it
I
that
remember the
early.
machine, but I was too little.
And then Melvis, then later on, I won't tell this right now. But anyway, Loyd came from a family of 13 kids. We came from 21 kids. Yeah.
All I can say is they
Okay.
should have invented the TV.
We didn't have one.
I can tell it.
We didn't have one, we
21
moved to
kids.
Bradley.
Huh?
We moved to Bradley when we got our first TV.
Okay, our second house we lived in is one of y'all were talking about on the north side of the road at the plant. You went down that road to Grandma, she lived down on the river,
That's the one that burned by the river.
down by the river, and we lived in one just on the north side of the plant, on the other side of the road. Yeah. And I remember taking pictures on the front porch, and I have one. And that helps me remember. Do you remember the coyote we had? We had a pet
We had a lot
coyote.
of dogs.
And he started killing our chickens. So we left to go to church. And Daddy tied him on a tree that had a fork in it. So he jumped through the other way and hung himself. He was hung when we got home. I took care of him. And before we left, and William and Cleo, grandparents, lived in a house on down the road east, about a half a mile from there, on the west side of the Wichita River. Did you ever go down there and play? Didn't? I remember a few
They were
times
already, he built the new house before I was born.
before you were born, so you didn't get into it.
I remember there was a barn and we'd play up in the loft.
And then it had little little storerooms that we played in.
William passed away a year before I was born.
The year before you were born, okay. We swam in the river, which was dangerous. It was Daddy and his 4 youngest brothers, you know, that's not much older than us. And we had a canoe, and I know there was a big flood. But Dad and them had a canoe that we canoed across the river at the end of the 2 mile and then went over to town. Do you remember that? We used to ride. We had cows over there too. But yeah, instead of going around, we canoed across the river, got out and had a vehicle over there.
Mom also, she didn't know I knew this because she thought I was too little. She got in that canoe to go across the river.
Talk loud so everyone can hear.
She went across the river in that canoe to get the cows. Well, on the way back, the canoe overturned.
Uh-oh, I didn't know that one.
And she didn't know anybody knew that. And I told her before she passed away that I knew.
How did you find out?
Because I saw her.
Oh, you saw her, okay.
I was in the car.
Oh, you were waiting in the car.
She said, you were too little to know that.
Well, that's just like, I remember that.
Probably traumatized you.
And then, when we still lived in this house, across from the plant, we were down in the bottom, right by where Grandma lived, and Mom was hoeing a garden. I don't know if you remember this. Mom dug up some human bones. Yeah. Dad went and talked to someone, and they came out, and they said it was probably Indian burial, you know, a place on the Wichita Valley.
Where was that house at?
You know where the old plant is out there?
Yeah.
On the north side, well, on down that road from the plant to the river, right there on the, where our grandma and grandpa lived.
Okay. I'll look at your map.
Huh? Who's talking?
You know, son.
You don't know that voice?
Probably was.
Well, that's what
It
they
is
just
because
go beside
Curtis Smith hunts arrowheads out there, and he finds a whole lot of arrowheads out there.
And Sandra and Barbara were born when we lived in this house. 5 children so far. And in 1953, we moved.
I thought it was the bean house.
No,
The bean house, yeah, the white
no,
house.
the bean house. You got it. The bean house. Nobody knows what. They don't know what a bean tree is. The old tree.
Good
Do
talk.
you have a picture of the bean tree?
I do something
Find it.
or it's in Daddy's stuff.
Good talk.
There is a picture of it.
That was all over it was released to school.
And all this.
Yeah, we're hanging in the bean tree.
We have a picture of the bean tree, and I don't know how many of us kids played in that tree, just hanging around like monkeys.
Well, I was in the 5th grade when we moved in there.
Huh?
I was in the 5th grade.
5th grade when we moved in there.
there.
What it looks like is a bunch of money.
Monkeys hanging in a bean tree, yes.
Can you pick us out?
Oh, I can't tell who's who. If kids did that today, y'all freak out.
Who?
Cleo.
Which Cleo?
That's Cleo.
No.
what I did?
No.
I didn't do it.
No, these two, Marion.
No, I was,
Sandra.
We were born in the other house.
I didn't say
Yeah.
the tree.
Oh, this one right here, the
Okay.
bean tree house. That was, who was born in the bean tree house?
well, I was,
Barbara and
Leland, Robert, Mary, Gary, and you're right, it says Cleo.
yeah.
But I didn't hang in the tree.
No, you were
But
just
she didn't hang in the tree.
Because the twins,
you didn't find me.
we lived in Bradley 2 years, and the twins was born while we were moving.
They were born
While we were moving.
the big
to the
white house.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we were in, Mama went to the hospital while we were at Bradley. When she come home, we lived in Lindsay.
Okay. And then, I think Dad worked at the plant some. But no, I don't know, I was too young. And he went to farming in the bottom creek, along the bottom creek, where we lived. And he had bought a small Ferguson tractor. Mom canned food from the garden, and I remember snapping beans all my life, shucking corn, and hoeing weeds. Not from our field, but every field along from here to Maysville to wherever. He also planted watermelons. And I'll go ahead and finish this. Dad farmed the Riverland from Freeman's to the Murray Mansion. But Dad, where they grew the garden, he planted a big field of watermelons.
That was at the bean tree.
Bean tree house, yep. And then he would load them on the truck, big grain sideboards, and take 2 of us girls in Springs and leave us and sell them. 3 for $1. Big watermelon. And then later, I don't know when, after, guess when we were almost through selling the watermelons, do you remember when all the neighbors came over to have watermelon feast? You don't remember that?
And we also sat on the side of the road there in front of the house and sold water.
Oh yeah, where we live.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to Springs and sit in the truck?
No.
That's
You and
Clean
Cleo.
now, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sit all day selling watermelons. And in this house, we had no running water. We had to draw the water from a well with a rope. We had no inside restroom, and we hadn't had any even up till this time. We had an outhouse outside. Once a week, some people may think this is a joke, but it's not, we took a bath
Yeah.
in this little square metal tub.
Well, it was, Mama would wash the clothes. She had her wash tub and her rinse tub. And when she got through rinsing clothes, we didn't have.
But anyway, I remember this too. Daddy always took his bath first if he was there.
And he was the dirtiest.
Huh? Yeah, then the rest of us and Mom had to take our baths in that dirty water.
We've been out plowing the fields and just cake.
Yeah. Y'all
Hey, when we lived out there, when I was little, I was always last one to get a bath in that bathtub of water. When I got into it, it looked like mud.
But anyway, one day Dad come home with his long metal tub. And 3 kids could get in at one time. We thought we were rich. And this is one that's sad, but it's true. On a cold winter night, Mom was putting her coat on, and I thought, what's happening now? What's going on? I asked her, where are you going? She said, I've got to go to the bedroom and make the beds. Get all the covers straightened up so we could go to bed. Then, a few times, if the weather was not good, Mom would go to the laundromat in town to wash and dry the clothes. She would let 2 or 3 of us go each time she went. Do you remember that? Yeah. Lita, you probably remember that?
Oh yeah, you always got.
And the ones that went got a Coke and some peanuts to sit there and eat while she did the laundry.
Big treat.
Well, she did Coke and peanuts for a long time.
Yeah,
I
So
still
she
do
did
that.
that with me.
I still do it sometimes.
Yeah. And that was such a good snack.
And you pour the cut in
In
the
the
coat.
Coke, yeah.
Took you a big drink first, and you pour them in there.
They had to share those peanuts, one instead of making
But anyway, about 6 months ago, I was in Dr. Westcott's office, seeing the heart doctor, and this elderly, I'm elderly, but he was older than me, he started talking about something that I said, do you know Loyd and Nellie Taylor? He said, oh yeah, I remember when she used to come to the laundromat and bring y'all some
Oh, was it
girls.
Smith?
Huh? I don't know.
It's probably Jerry Smith.
Whoever worked at the laundromat.
And he had a sister named, what was her sister's name? She lived down on. But I worked with her at the sewing factory,
Oh, okay.
and she remembered us all. You know,
Yeah.
remembered us kids. and
They did
everything,
too,
too.
yeah.
She lived down there by Dingy. She lived in 2 houses down
Yeah,
there.
that
Lived
way.
up in town on that last street.
Last street, yeah. And then when Mom would go to the grocery store, she would always bring some candy, a sucker, gum, and we always save the gum on the bed for the next day. Yep. And if she bought a bag of candy, no matter what it was, however many was home that could eat, she got to the table and she started out, one in a pile. She kept going till the bag of candy was empty, then we all got to get our pile of candy.
So that should be in the slow post or the black
Break
cows.
'em up.
Yeah. And if it was jelly beans, she ate the black licorice.
And I love the black cows.
I
She
love black.
always had the black licorice.
I'm a black.
I buy the bags of the black ones.
I love black.
Oh,
The black ones?
yeah, I buy the bags of the black.
I pick all the black ones out of the bag, man.
I found them on the clearance down there at Dollar Tree after Easter. Got 8 bags of them.
8 bags of licorice?
It's hard to find the real licorice though these days.
I don't like the black licorice instead. I don't like
No, they're not the same anymore.
Now here's where the hard work comes in. Cleta, this is you and I. We were taught to drive the truck, we were taught to drive the tractor.
Well, we did too.
Well, I know, but I said it started with us. We had to plow the fields. We had to learn how to turn that tractor on just like that, go all the way around. And I remember, and then these were hard times when I remember this, and it was in the bean house. I don't know why we were having such a hard time at that time. But we had cornmeal mush for breakfast. And then usually if it was during school time, we ate at school. And Mom and them would have cornbread and beans and potatoes at home. And cornbread and milk for supper. And you know what was our dessert? Peanut butter with crackers. I don't know if y'all remember that, peanut butter and crackers.
I
Things
still,
didn't change a whole lot for y'all. Things didn't change a whole lot for y'all
There's all my.
to us younger ones.
No, because we always got a bag of candy on
Because we don't,
Fridays.
Daddy would stop down there at the old grocery store where K&B was, and he would buy one of those big candy canes, about that long, about that big around. He would bust it up and divide it up between us.
Yeah.
And that was our candy.
Your candy. You hold it. And then, when we would come home from school, Mom would always save enough fried potatoes for us to have a half of a fried potato sandwich. And that was pretty tasty when we got home.
Remember what we had? Bread and ketchup. Mustard and crackers.
We did eat a lot of mustard and crackers.
Okay,
Mustard and crackers.
we got some chickens and I think 2 cows. One was the milk cow. And one of our jobs was to go get the cow so Dad could get it home. He could milk it so he got home from work. For some reason, we forgot, or it just got too dark and we weren't going to the pasture after dark. Dad got home, he was upset. He told us to get the cow even if it was dark. We went off down to the pasture. The road through the pasture had a lot of trees and a thick road, and just had 2-wheel tracks, vehicle tracks. We found the cow and was on the way back, scared to death as it was. After coming back through the grove of trees, we heard something rustling trees and growling. We turned around to look, see what it was. It was big like a bear or like a Bigfoot. We took off running and left the cow. Got home and was telling Mom about it. And Daddy finally come in the house with a big trench coat on over his head with his arms up. He said, maybe you won't forget the cow next time. I love y'all remember. I love y'all the one that went through to get the cow. Probably Lita.
I remember we used to ride the cow down.
Yeah, we ride on Red. We had one cow, we'd go get her, and
Somebody got to ride it back.
somebody could ride on the head and somebody on the back. Mom always made most of our clothes, sewing and washing by hand, hanging out to dry, cooking for all of us. Mom taught us older girls to embroidery on dish towels, and she embroidered on quilts. She did 4 of them, to embroidery. And she made 4. The steak name, the bird, and the flowers, and many more quilts. What do you think, 100?
Everybody should have a quilt.
Who's got one of Grandma's quilts?
How many quilts you got?
Who has a quilt? Who has a quilt upon the table?
Really?
I don't remember.
I got like 7, 8, 9, or 10.
Hey.
Okay,
Give her the
hold it.
Marion wants to say something.
Hold on, guys, we got a question.
Gene,
Yeah,
when y'all lived in when you lived in the bean house,
the bean house, yeah.
that was south of where my mother and dad lived, right east of Sea Chapel School. When you lived there,
Yeah.
we were quilting at your mom's house, and she had been sewing, and I think Barbara was fixing to start school that year. Maybe she may have already been, but let me tell you, Nellie brought out 25 dresses that she had made for you 5
For
girls.
school, yep. Thank you, Marion. Some things I don't remember. I said she remembers as much, because she was always there. Okay, where did we get? This one, okay. Mom and Dad would get whoever was in need of a pair of shoes as you needed them. Not just, nobody went and all got new shoes. So Dad went to buy mine. He bought a pair of boy shoes, an old black pair of loafers. I refused to wear them. Dad said, well, wear them or go to school barefoot. I went to school barefoot. But it was very embarrassing, but I got a girl pair of shoes. Oh, and then these are some of the good times. Mom and Dad went down the hill to the garden and said if they caught us bouncing on the bed, we would get a whooping when they got back. As soon as they got home, we got a whooping. We didn't know they could see us.
And some of us had to run away from them.
You tried to run away? The whoopings?
Tried to run from whoopings.
Yeah.
Because he had a big old gas, down sitting down by that building there, and I think there was off down there where that building was, I remember.
And what did he get to whip us with? Oh, she said he got a switch. He was run the switch. I got taken in the bedroom and got whooped.
Well, I never got a whooping, so.
I never got one.
Well, I don't think we should have got a whooping for just bouncing on the
I
bed.
think we got one for everybody.
I know
They just couldn't find me, I was at Santa's house hiding.
it. It was so hot in the summer. Dad came home with a water cooler. Everybody knows what a water cooler is. Not air conditioner, no water cooler.
Swamp cooler.
Swamp cooler. Where if you didn't have the water to hook it up to, you had to pour the water in it yourself. About 10 times a day.
Used the water hose.
And we all slept in the living room floor. It sure was nice to have some cool air. Now this is a good one. Cleta, y'all, I think this is how I'll just go ahead. We were all going to William and Cleo's grandma and grandpa for Thanksgiving. We all loaded up, went to the grandparents' house. Mom did a head count. There was one kid missing. You remember who it was? Huh? Gary. Ed wasn't born yet.
Ed got left too.
Somebody got left.
Yeah, but it was Gary Don that got missing when they went to Grandma's. And they said when they got back home, he was just walking around the dark house crying. I know, it's so sad. Then I didn't know until I got left at church until the other day. I think Barbara told me, or one of the twins. Huh?
I remember that.
I don't remember.
I don't remember Gary.
I remember Mary getting left.
Mary got left too?
What would that mean? It's not gonna work.
Okay, Mom always made our clothes, and she bought her gingham material out of the Sears catalog. And we always liked it when the Christmas section came. We wore that catalog out, looking and wishing at Christmas stuff. And I don't remember much about Christmases.
Well, I don't remember anything until we got older.
Yeah.
But when we were little kids, I don't remember anything.
Well, the only one I remember when we got older, and I just remember you, me, and Cleta. Mom bought us a big old Barbie doll about this tall.
Barbie dolls just come out in 1959.
No, these weren't Barbie dolls, and they were just big dolls like Barbie dolls. Well, wouldn't keep the clothes on it, just like kids these days. Dad told us, if I come home again and those dolls don't have the clothes on, I'm gonna burn them. Well, we got home from school one day, drove up, there were 3 pairs of legs sticking out of the burn bag. We burned them. Yep.
Mammoth's word.
Huh?
Mammoth's word. Gene, I remember Christmas well because us younger ones made out like bandits because all you older ones always bought us.
I know, we didn't have anything.
We didn't get anything.
Linda always got us socks and underwear.
That's what you need.
I remember that.
What did I get you?
A hard time, probably. I don't know, we lived with you most of the
I
time.
know. I have more pictures with y'all little boys than me. People thought they were my kids. They spent so much time with me. Even when we lived in North Dakota, Eddie Dale was always with us up there.
Amarillo, we was all
Thomas was
there.
with me there. Is Thomas here?
They're in
Okay.
Ireland.
Huh?
They're in Ireland.
Okay.
Are you still there?
No, Thomas didn't go.
Thomas didn't go.
No, but they're back, Carla's back.
And still at the Steam House, we seemed like we had a lot of electrical storms when we lived there. I don't know.
We had a tornado came through.
Yeah, we had the tornado. And Dad would put all of us, pile us in the car, and we'd go sit out by the road, and all that. Do y'all know what an electrical storm is? It never quits. It's just one right after another and banging. And we would sit there until it was over, and he said, and we were scared, he said, "You'll be all right. The car tires are rubber." I don't know if that's no hearsay or if that's true.
No, that's true.
And then in 1956, William and Cleo's house on the river burned. Then they built on back west a cinder block house. And Mom helped draw up the plans for that house. Grandpa died in 1957. I don't remember Grandpa except 2 times in my life. And that one time was where they took and you wouldn't think I remembered it, but when they took all the pictures of Danny, was just about 3 or 4. I remember that. And then we went over to see the new house. And I don't know what it was about Daddy and Grandpa about haircuts. They thought your hair should be short. Grandpa said, "You need a haircut." He actually put a bowl on my head and proceeded to cut. I don't know if the bowl was just to scare me or was a joke or if he actually used it. Because one of the pictures, it was pretty short. Grandma and the boys stayed at this new house until 1963 when they moved to town on Francis Street. Gerald and Harold were the only ones that got to graduate from Sea Chapel. And when they got the new house, you know, we never had a TV. Still no TV. We didn't know what a TV was. But we would walk on Saturday mornings to Grandma's house to watch cartoons, Roy Rogers, The Lone Ranger. And that was about 2 miles to get there. Time to move again. We went on down the road, 3/4 of a mile north, 2 miles west, 2 miles west, 2 miles north, 1 mile west, 3/4 of a mile back south. That's south of Bradley, when we moved up there in the country. And they lived on Sandy Creek, just down Sandy Creek from us.
Y'all were in the Rock House.
Yeah, the Rock House.
That's the one I remember.
That's
That's the one you remember.
Barrington's live there now.
Who?
Barrington's Farms.
Oh, do they? Okay.
The house we lived in is still there too.
I know, I went by there the other day, and this guy stopped me as I was coming. I drive out through it all the time to sleep. And I drove out, and he stopped me and said, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Oh, I'm just looking at the place because this is where my aunt and uncle lived." He wasn't too friendly. So I left. But when we moved to that Rock House, we had an inside bathroom and running water.
And a TV.
And a TV. But we got some new furniture then. I don't know. Dad got something
He went
over
to bank and borrowed some money.
money. The farm with, yeah.
And he bought us that stuff.
And he took that truck that he hauled watermelons in and went to Oklahoma City. And I remember going across that bridge, you know, the old bridge.
The big old Canadian bridge.
And he went up there and got some furniture.
Yeah. And I remember when we moved from Bradley to town, Mom lost one of a good coffee table in Texas. And it was all busted up, so. And Dad, over there, he got a bigger tractor. A big diesel with one of those accordion umbrellas on top. Again, we thought we were rich because we had to plow the fields, and that felt good. Running around the recipes, new furniture. Here, Dad raised broom corn, wheat, and cotton.
And hay.
I don't remember hay.
Don't you remember having to throw those bells on the...
No.
I remember hauling hay, but I thought it was for somebody else.
And then again, we had to plow the fields, and we learned how to do it right. That's what Dad said. And when we hoed the fields, he said, "I better not come back and find any of these corn stalks cut down." I don't know what he would have done if he actually came back and checked to see if we really cut any of the corn down. We cut broom corn and we picked cotton. Now, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen, they had the big long sacks that you drug behind you and put the cotton in. Well, they were too big for us, so Mom always made us a short one out of a big sack. So we had to pick the cotton. And we hoed, like I said, the weeds out of broom corn and cotton for our dad and other farmers all along the highway in between Lindsay and Maysville.
Okay.
And when the wheat was combined and put in the grain trucks, and parked in the big barn so we could go sell them. Our fun time was to get in the Raptors and jump off in the seeds.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Jump in those. And then here, again, big gardens, still can lots of food. We used to snap beans and shuck corn. Sit and watch pressure cooker. That was hot, to sit and watch those pressure cookers. We would go play in Sandy Creek. David knows about that. We spend all day in Sandy Creek. Yeah.
Walk all the way
From
to
our
their house
house
and
to
get
their
them to go
house
play.
was a Sandy Creek, a mile across. Remember the big gar we caught that one time? The big fish?
I don't remember.
Don't remember that? We drug it to our house, and y'all were gonna drag it back to your house.
I wasn't very old then, so
Yeah.
I'd have been following along behind.
Oh, yeah, everybody was following along behind, huh? Oh.
I think I was 5 when we
Now,
left
this
that
is a
house.
good one, so you may not remember it. It's, Pam or anyone here? Okay. We played in that creek, and I don't know why. The mom always said, don't go swimming and get your clothes wet. I mean, it was a nice sandy creek. It was nice to play in. So, you remember what I was gonna say, Cleta?
Oh, I took her clothes off.
We took our outer clothes off and swam in our underwear. When we got done, we took our underwear off, put our dry clothes on, and hung them in a tree. When we come back, same routine. We had it down. Till Buford found the
Sandra, was your part of
underwear
that?
tree.
Because Matt done got in trouble when I told him I did that. Remember
Well, I
that,
didn't
Matt?
get packed in
Y'all
that.
got whoopings.
Oh, I know.
Remember, I was laughing.
She was meaner than her.
What did y'all do?
Same thing you did. Took our clothes off.
Yeah, did you keep your underwear on and leave?
Yeah, we kept our underwear on.
We did too. But anyway, I really don't know what happened.
Sometimes.
Hush, Cleveland. I know what you're talking about.
So y'all had
You want me to show you the scars?
No, we remember an incident when Brad got hung up in a pond.
I will not go swimming without underwear on ever again. Ever.
Ever,
I
huh?
thought a perch had got me.
But anyway, yeah, Uncle Buford found our underwear in the tree, and that ended that. Also, with room corn, has anybody ever worked room corn? No, anybody else? Hard work. And then when you thrash the room corn and put it in a barn, that machine threw out all those seeds that were on that, the seeds. Sometimes they're nearly high as the barn or 7 or 8 feet tall, that seed pile. We climb on top of the barn and jump in them.
Itchy.
Oh, that's what I got right here. Itchy, but fun.
And it's getting hot after it's out of a while too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that steam would be in there. We tried to do it right after they were through thrashing. And I remember going home from cutting the root corn and thrashing, being so tired, just lay down on the floor and go to sleep till the next morning.
Well, do you and
Itchy
Cleta?
and all.
Yeah. Do you and Cleta remember whenever once we had a crew that come out to cut the room?
And you and me and Cleta had to do the guys' work, and Daddy wouldn't let them do
And
it.
they were so
I
mad.
know. This was a big crew.
We could outdo them.
And each one of them had their own jobs to do. And when they cut the room for them, those guys would come along and pick them up, and they're supposed to butt them in on the wagon like this. Well, they were just, Daddy fired them and hired us 3 to do it. And we were just like
I was in
10,
the,
11, 12.
I was in the 6th, 5th, part of the 5th. and
Yeah,
6th
we were
and
just
7th.
little girls.
I mean,
And we had to do those men's work. His dad didn't like the way they were doing it. And then again, Mom and the girls would go to Nadine's to quilt. And the quilter back then was boards hanging from the ceiling.
and fingers that went.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't have the machine that ran it over. And we lived there in Bradley for 3 years, almost 3 years. And that, when that house was sold, I guess that's something I can remember is when we had to move to town. We left Bradley.
I guess, I don't remember why we moved.
I think you got the job at the lumberyard.
And Daryl and Joanne was born there. And Dad always said it was cheaper by the dozen, because that's
I
what they
think he just
made.
decided he couldn't make it farming.
Farming,
And
okay.
then got a job and then, because he wasn't farming anymore, so he had to.
But I had to cut broom corn from the time I was 11
I was 10.
until, yeah, you were 10, until 1969, 2 years after I got out of high school. That's how long we cut broom corn.
I quit the year I got out.
You wasn't going no
Me
more?
too.
I went to work at the dime store that, as soon as I graduated.
Yeah. Well, I think we would have quit, but Grandpa worked.
Oh, yeah.
We had to cut his still, so.
Now, I don't remember if Lynn and Gwen remembers. They decided they wanted to go cut broom corn one time. I
Yeah.
took them out there. We worked till noon, we didn't go back.
I don't remember cutting.
You don't remember that?
Only back.
They didn't want to go back. That was enough.
And I think I got wrote somewhere else here, but Mom would work with one hand, and two of us would work on the other row as one, and we got paid half, you know, but we just made, two of us made one hand, so. Oh, yeah. We moved to Lindsay in town, no, a lot of people don't know this, to a two-story house that sits where Love's pumps are right there on the east side, right across from the Circle Tower. We lived in a two-story house sitting right there.
Who's got a picture of that?
Huh?
Yeah, no one knows that one.
No, I don't think you
Your
made
mom
that.
lived there too, didn't they?
Somebody's got a picture.
Have you ever heard about that two-story house? But we didn't.
What year was that?
The year the twins were born. Yeah.
Which one? Twins?
Yeah, the twins were born.
We only lived there 3 months.
I know.
I know, the twins were born there.
Joanne and Gwen were born in the same year though, so it was whatever year. that
Joanne was born in the Rock House.
Yeah.
Like I said, we were moving at the time of the town.
3 kids in 1 year. Joanne was born in February of 62. The twins were born in December of 62. And the twins were born when we were moving into that house. Yeah.
Well, after y'all, the Sumters moved into that house sometime.
Did they?
Yeah, because I remember it as being the Sumter house. And I remember it being torn down and made it into Love's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely
Wasn't there a
remember
little
that
gas
house.
station in front at that time or something?
It was just a house. Now, there was one to the side of it.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Dad went to work at Western Auto, Lindsay Builder Supply. I don't know at which place at this time, you know, that he worked at those.
I think you worked at Lindsay Builder Supply.
Huh?
You worked at the Builder Supply.
Lindsay Builder Supply.
Then you worked at
Junior Reeves.
Yep.
I remember going to.
Because he still worked there when I built the beauty shop
Where
in
at Lafayette?
Yeah,
1972.
so it had been Western Auto first.
Western Auto first. I put Western Auto, but I wasn't sure. Then we moved to Hughes after the little house. And we lived at Hughes for about 3 years. Dad still worked at Western Auto, Lindsay Builder Supply. Joe Paul, Ed, and Thomas was born when they lived at Hughes.
So was Ed. Because the neighbor asked me what his middle name
I
was.
got Ed. But the thing we want to know, where was Mark born?
He was born
What house did we live in? We can't find Mark.
Big Century House.
Just a minute, Parks' house.
Was he born in Parks?
They Parks' house.
You were born in Parks?
Oh, I remember, I remember
I was
Parks
born in the
was
house
there.
Linda lives in now.
Rhonda?
I was born in Parks.
Rhonda and Mark were born at Parks.
Mama was pregnant whenever Daddy started building that house. Mama told me that that's the only house I ever lived in.
Well,
Might have lived there, don't mean.
it had to have been Parks' house. Sandy, you were 2.
What about the house by the railroad track?
You were 2.
Born there?
They built that house in 71 and 72.
That's where I came in.
They did live in that house where,
Mark was born in
out on the highway.
69.
Mark born in 69.
So it had to be Parks.
Rhonda was born in
Or out,
70.
You know-
when they lived out on the
And
highway.
I'm born in
Yeah.
72.
What about out on the highway?
It's an oil company now.
Thomas told me, but see, I asked him, because see, I wasn't around when they did all this little moving. But you're talking about the, at the end of the plant?
The one old plant out here.
Right out
You're
here.
talking about, as you come off 59B, right there.
Right there, there was a house there. Well, it was they just lived in that house. It wasn't a house.
Well, it was a kitchenette and bedroom.
Yeah.
I think the house was turned into a business.
Yeah.
But anyway, that
I don't know
matters.
how long, why they were building the house.
They lived there, but they were building the house, and that's what, Thomas told me.
So that's probably what
And you know why
Mark.
Thomas said he knew? So how old was Thomas when then?
He's just above Mark.
Well, they had to live there before they moved to Park. They had to
In
live there
between
before
us
they
moving
moved
from the, two-story house on Love Lot
Because
to
Brad and Rhonda
here.
wanted to Barker, and I remember going out and taking Mama to the
When
hospital.
did he'd been almost 4.
Then we went back to this house.
The house up on the park,
Where is that big? Right here, the great big house.
where John lives now,
4th Street Park, and went
the
on.
house where you live.
The big
Yeah.
two-story house.
Costello Mansion.
Yeah, and you know, I asked the Historical Society once why they didn't have a picture of that, and they said, we didn't have one. Well, I got a picture.
Really?
Yeah, because we lived there, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we got pictures.
Now, was there a ballpark where your house is at now? No, you know where the trees are back that way? It's where the Cowan's house is, where and where, the coach, Haley, that's where the
Now,
back stop was.
if you go back on historical aerials, there shows to be a baseball field exactly where her house is.
That could be. I don't know. They built that house was built in
Yes, there was.
64.
There was a
There
ballpark.
was. There was a baseball field. I remember now.
Oh, yeah.
It shows that.
But beyond there was where we played baseball, right up there and drove everywhere. We called the trees down the other place, but that was just like the hills and stuff like that. But that's where we played baseball.
Yeah, if you go on historical aerials, it shows, you can see the baseball diamond right on her house.
Really?
Tons of horny toads around there. Live
Roach's
there.
house.
Horny toads. That area.
What big house is? Back, look at the sound.
The big two-story house.
The ball field was out by the road. It's almost where the park is now.
Big house.
Okay, what are we discussing? Which one?
Big house.
Okay, now we're at the big house, on the hill. Cleve and I were juniors when we had to move from Hughes back to Lindsay in the big two-story house on 4th Street in Winona. And when we moved there, we chose to finish our school at, did you finish at Hughes?
Yeah, because I went and transferred myself.
Oh, okay.
I tried
I didn't even
to.
ask Mom and
So
Dad.
Cleve, myself, and Linda. Sandy said she tried. But
Me and Linda went, she went her senior, and I went my
we
junior.
transferred out so we could stay
But
and
I had,
graduate at Hughes.
I had to go to Lindsay because there was no more Hughes.
Yeah, they did away with you. Oh, that's why you didn't work out for you.
Well, she went one year, but then she couldn't go the other year.
And so we finished our junior and senior year, but the drawback was we had to drop out of basketball. We didn't get to play. But we made that choice. We wanted to graduate out there.
I still played.
Huh?
I did too.
I still played when I went. Maybe they didn't know we was.
Well, we may have had to drop out one year. We still played basketball.
But anyway, Dad worked at Lindsay Building Supply. Mom worked at the sewing factory, the handy dandy broom factory, and the Murray Mansion. And we have the picture here with Mom and some of the kids working at the Murray Mansion.
Handy Andy.
Handy dandy?
No.
Oh, Handy Andy?
Yep.
Okay, got that wrong.
They still work at the mansion after hours.
Okay, oh darn, we forgot my little animals. But anyway, Mom and Dad had all kinds of wood, after they retired, you know, Daddy probably still drove the bus, but they had a 2-car carport, and that's where they did their woodworking. And I had the little animals, do you remember the year the mom made all the
The horse in front of you, Bob.
Huh?
The horse is right there in front of you.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, I got a little kitty cat in the house.
Mom made all the grandkids one of these for Christmas.
I've never seen one.
But Barbara told me her kids didn't get one either.
I've never seen that before.
Maybe you were on the
Was
naughty
you not
list.
there?
Where?
No, they were all different kinds. I've
I
got,
do not remember ever, Mama, ever seen one.
I've
she
got a
did.
kitty cat.
What have you got? What have you
I
got?
don't have any.
She don't have one, I got a cat.
Rhonda probably got all of them.
Maybe because we didn't live here, so.
Huh?
Only because we didn't live there.
So for Christmas, did you?
Most of the time.
All the grandkids.
I don't remember ever
I
getting.
have an elephant, a pig, a horse, and a raccoon. That's got my 4 kids. No, I have 4 kids. They all got to pick their
I
animal.
remember. I remember the It's.
Yes.
Yeah, they built for the adults. Mom and Dad were always building tables and whatnots, little whatnots. And one time they built us all a wooden TV tray that folded up.
I still use mine every day.
You still got yours?
I use mine every day.
Every
It's my
day?
go-to tray.
Well, mine got wore out. I still have the table though.
Rick had to repair
I
it.
still have that
Screws in.
great big one that Joanne drew. She got it. But she never did.
Now here's something I just wrote. Y'all ready? This is just a sum up. I'm getting hurt. Mom and Dad worked so hard to raise this many children. Dad farmed, taught us to work in the fields. But Mom is the one who carried the load, having 21 kids and taking care of them, cooking and sewing. Can you imagine being pregnant for 21 years? She was always so kind, never had a harsh word to say to anyone. And she canned over hundreds and hundreds of jars of food.
Thousands, probably.
1,000. The new house that they built on Garvin Pay Road had a large cellar under the back porch. It looked like a grocery store. She always made pickles, and she put them in a big crock. I guess the brine, you call it, that you let them soak in. We probably snuck so many pickles, she didn't have any left to can.
When we lived in the Rock House and Nadine lived over in the other house, they would can together and everything. They had a cellar, we'd go down in that cellar and
Get
sit in there
theirs
and
too?
eat the pickles and
Yeah.
stuff.
And we made our homemade cottage cheese and butter. And the cottage cheese is much better than
Town ball.
what they have in town.
Does anybody know how to make that?
What? Do I?
Yeah. Gotta have the cow first.
Well, you gotta have a cow, you gotta milk it, you gotta let it sour, you gotta have a cheesecloth, you have to let it curdle.
It's a long process,
Yeah.
but it was
We
good.
did it.
They had a wing too.
Okay, these are just a few of the accidents we would have. Broom corn, season's over. You had to stack all the slats. You remember stacking slats?
Oh, yeah.
And I think it was you, Daddy, me, and Cleta, and you pushed them through to make sure they were even. Daddy pushed one through one time and put a big cut right in my head right here.
That's what happened to you.
Yep.
Yep.
And then one time, I was having to take the pin to let the braking plow, take the braking plow off of the tractor. He set the braking plow down on my foot, put a big gash in my foot. No doctor. Cleta knows about this one. Remember when we played hide and go seek? You know that. Remember when we played hide and go seek? This is when we lived at the Bean House. But we hid anywhere and everywhere. And back then we had the outside toilet. Cleta was already up there, but I didn't know that. That's where she was hiding. And to get up there, you gotta climb up on the wall bar fence, to get up there. Well, she said, she kind of pushed, said, I'm already up here. Pushed me through that wall, I fell through that wall bar fence. To this day, I have a 10-foot scar, about 3/4 inches wide on my hip. The doctor thought I'd had the hip surgery over here too, but I didn't. No doctor. I had to sit on the pillow at school for I don't know how long. And we walked. Oh, we rode the oil pumps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Puppy jack.
We always walk the pipelines across creeks, any kind of
Well,
gully we could find.
remember getting on the big tanks, some would get one, the other would string the telephone, cans of
Yeah.
fire.
Okay, I don't know if y'all remember this, Cleta, but when we lived across from the plant, there on the north side of the road, Daddy and his younger brothers, and they lived down on the river, and you have the big stacks, and you have your lead wires coming down. Well, 2 of those lead wires came down right at our fence line on, this side of the road. Well, they rigged a pulley and a seat, and they would pull us to the top and let us ride down.
Zip line.
Zip line, yeah.
Except it went up and down.
Huh?
Except it went up and down.
Yeah, you go up and down. And it was a lot of fun. But they never pull us up too far to let us get hurt. So, anything else anybody wants to know?
I have a question.
Okay.
When Loyd was going, Nellie told me that the 5 girls were ahead of him.
Want to name me Howdy Doody? Pinky Lee, or Howdy Doody. Oh yeah, we were firm about that.
They begged, she said, and she told him, no, he can't. Well, he
Tell them about nothing, no one can hear.
some of them still call him Pinky Lee. I think Bill knows Sharon's husband.
Oh, yeah.
Because of Pinky Lee. I just wondered if that was a true story.
Yes, it's true, but I was thinking Howdy Doody.
No, it's Pinky.
But now you said it was Pinky Lee.
I'm glad y'all didn't get charged.
Anybody else have any questions? You can come up, look at the stuff, and read. These are pictures right here. I don't know if anybody saw them. These are grandkids and great-grandkids that went to school at one time. I think they were being and this is another different picture.
No comments.
You know the old Costello house?
Yeah.
That we lived in. What do you want to know about that house? Who lived there?
Okay,
Do you
Mona,
know anything about it?
Mona Watts lived there before y'all did.
Mona Watts?
And they were good friends of ours when we were little kids. And that house was built like a brick house. There must have been 1 million nails in that house. They took that house apart and kept all the wood.
When they tore it down?
But to take it apart took a year.
Well, you know, when we lived in that house, I got married and left. And I've gone for 16 years. And sometimes we got a house that tore down.
Give her the microphone.
Oh, it's a 2-story house, that's what we did when I got married. And then I was gone for 16 years, town country. But when we came back today, it was gone. I almost died of a heart attack.
Costello, he was the old superintendent of Lindsay. Many years ago.
See, I heard somewhere he was a banker. He didn't hear me.
Oh, you're right. Excuse me, I'm wrong.
Was he a banker?
He was a banker.
I don't know where he was at, or where he came from, but he read it somewhere.
Why did they turn that?
Thank you for watching. Please join our YouTube channel to see our past and future programs. Also, please follow our Facebook pages, the Murray Lindsay Mansion, Pikes Peak School Museum, and the Lindsay Community Historical Society.